Hi there, Giovanni here at Fraptools, and today we are taking a look at 3 techniques for FUMANA's individual outputs. Coming up. So for the first technique, we aren't gonna use FUMANA as a filter for our main sequence, which is this one. It's a fairly simple sequence coming out from the brainstorm oscillator. But instead, we're gonna use the envelope follower outputs to modulate brainstorm's sound. So we are going to patch, for example, our pink noise to the modulation input. And you can see that as soon as I do this, all the 16 envelopes will light up evenly, because the white noise has an even distribution of energy per octave, as opposed to the white noise, which has a distribution of energy which is equal per bandwidth. So this gives us 16 independent random envelopes that we can patch anywhere we want in our patch. For example, I can use this one to control the wavefolder amplitude, the wavefolder level. And then I can use this one to control the wave shaper. And they are not in sync. They are true random. And then I can use a third envelope follower to control, for example, my frequency modulation amount. And whichever envelope I want, like this one, to control my timbre modulation. And why not? Let's use also layering modulation. Now, it sounds quite harsh, but if I play my melody, I can achieve this very nice lo-fi stuttering effect, which I can enrich with the reverb. But I can also play with my attack and decay for the envelope followers, making them longer. I can synchronize the two oscillators, and I can even add some attack as well to make it even smoother. Of course, I am not using FUMANA right now, so I can patch, for example, the white noise to the main input and patch its output to another channel of the CGM. Or even I can keep the odd and the even outputs separate and patch them in stereo. I can use it to add a nice touch of noise to my track. Like this. Okay, for my second tip, I patched Brenso's final output through FUMANA and then the whole output to the CGM mixer so that I can shape my sound. As you can see, I programmed my reverb into a shimmer patch, which is gonna multiply my frequency and create much higher overtones. And what I want to do, instead of routing the bass sound straight to the reverb, is to select one of these bands and patch it to my CGM mixer. And what I like about this solution is that I am selecting a different part of each note spectrum every time, because my root note changes but my band is at a fixed frequency. So sometimes there is something into that, sometimes there is not. Sometimes what is in the band is consonant with the root note, sometimes it's dissonant. And I want to route this to the reverb. Which is gonna play just every now and then. See how it emphasizes just certain notes. And the band is pre-fader, so I can isolate it, remove it from the main sound, and the reverb is still gonna sound. And for the third tip, I'm gonna use Brenso's frequency modulation. However, instead of using the green sine wave semi-normal to the linear through zero modulation input, instead I'm going to patch, for example, the green sawtooth to FUMANA, which will sound like this. And then I'm going to pick a given band, for example this one. You can see that, you can hear that it's sounding only when certain notes crosses it. Or this. So every band has, it's kind of splitting my sequence and emphasizing only certain rhythmic structure according to which note crosses it. So I'm going to override the semi-normalization and patch this output. And now you can hear that the sequence is almost always unmodulated, but only when the sawtooth crosses and crosses this band's frequency, it will modulate my carrier, creating a rhythmic structure. Of course, I can always blend my green sawtooth to the mix as well. Let's see. Perhaps I can use a Sapel, which is clocking my sequence, to animate the green. Let's try and transpose the sequence down. Perhaps I can combine it with the previous technique and use another band to excite the reverb. And these were today's 3 tips for FUMANA's individual outputs, but more will come, so if you found them useful, subscribe to the channel. I hope you had fun, and I will see you next time.